Friends of Blackwater presents Early Mining Voices, a community history and heritage program. What was life like for coal mining families in West Virginia 100 years ago? Let's find out.
I'm William Hal Gorby. I'm a teaching associate professor at WVU in the history department and mainly do West Virginia Appalachian history. Yeah, I've worked with Tom on projects for about 6-7 years now. And so when he was looking for projects, I said, there's 70 or some of these interviews that are there. They're with immigrants, they're African-American miners. And if we could transcribe them or make them digitally available in some way to the public, it would be a great sort of project for students or for others, yeah.
For more than 50 years, these rare recordings have been stored in an archive, unheard and unknown. But today, the interviews are being transcribed by students at West Virginia University and made available to scholars, the miners' descendants, and the public at large.
All right, let's call up our second panel of Patsy Greco, Charles Nichols, Charlie Losh, and Peter Bomber. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Kat Harless, a student at West Virginia University. I want to introduce our first panel of recreated early mining voices. I will ask our panelists some questions now. What do you all recall about unionization and labor strikes?
I remember the 1922 strike and the train wreck. They had men sitting in a coach on a sidetrack waiting on the train that would take them down to Porcelains and put them in jail. The whole coach wrecked going down the mountain. Those men, they were arrested for doing nothing.
Hello, I am Lucas Davis, a West Virginia University history student. Let's welcome our second panel. What can you tell us about your work in the mines?
Yeah, I lied about my age. I told them I was 14 so they'd hire me and I could help my father after our house burned down. I was paid about 50 cents per 2-ton car that I'd loaded.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Matthew Powell. I'm a history student at WVU. Now, let's meet our final panel today, starting with Mr. Carl Perkins and Mrs. Margaret Perkins. Are you able to add anything about the unionization?
They used evictions a lot at that time. My sister was evicted in 22. They'd give you so many days, and that was it. If you didn't get out, they'd put you out on the street.
Our story starts in 1967, when a young historian named John Stealey tape-recorded interviews with more than 70 retired coal miners and their families.
Professor John Stealey.
This program has brought back some fond memories. The presentations you just heard are a very small fragment of over 70 interviews that I conducted in the central West Virginia coalfields in 1967. And I guess I'll conclude by saying this: in this climate of immigration, shall I call it that, and I don't want to get in too much detail on it, but it reinforces what I always knew about the demographic diversity of West Virginia and Appalachian. In this modern age, it might be well for us to remind ourselves that almost all of us are descendants of immigrants or are immigrants, just some older and some newer. Just that simple.
It has been an honor to help tell the early mining families' stories. Thanks for watching this program.